Hey everybody, it's Cameron again, and I hope all of you had an amazing Thanksgiving. Now that Thanksgiving is over, we are getting into the Christmas season, and thus closer draws the new year. And for the new year, really my only resolution is one that has to be made before the new year actually comes. I have a ton of books that I am currently reading, and they have been on my currently reading list for a very long time now. I have been in the middle of about 11-12 books for a few months. Just in the past couple weeks, I have narrowed that down quite a bit from about 11 or 12 books to 7. For some reason, I have this thing where when I start a book, I can't just not finish it. Now, I know a lot of people start out that way. They'll read a book and they have to read it even though it's painful to get through it. And then after some time goes on, they're more able to just DNF a book. However, right now, I'm not able to do that. I wish I could because there are a lot of other books I would rather be reading, but once I start a book, I just feel obligated to finish it and see it all the way through. So this is kind of a ramble of a video, I guess. Are any of you going through this right now? Because it's been a thing this whole year. I keep starting books, and then I start another, and then I start another before I finish the one that I was just reading. I don't know, it's just getting a little... It's getting on my nerves. A lot of these books, it's not because I'm not enjoying them. There are some of these books that I really am enjoying. I just have other reasons for not getting through them. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you some of the books that I'm reading right now and some of the books that I want to get through so that way I can get on to my Christmas books and the books that I want to kick the new year off with. The first one here is a book in the Nancy Drew series. This is called The Clue of the Velvet Mask by Carolyn Keene. It is book number 30 in the series. Now, I love Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew has always been one of my favorite series ever since I was a kid. I really enjoy the cozy mystery vibe that these give. They're just very warm and welcoming, and this mystery is no exception. I'm really enjoying it. It's just this copy here is a first edition. It's a first printing. It's the very first time this particular book was ever printed. It was printed in 1953, I believe. Yes, 1953. It's a pretty old book. It's very valuable. I was very lucky to run across this in a used bookstore. It was only $20. If you look this up on eBay, it typically goes for well over $100 in bad condition. This is in like amazing condition. This book is worth every bit of $200, if not more. Therefore, reading it makes me a little bit nervous. I've been a little worried that me reading this book would damage it. Now, I am very careful with books. Very careful. Some people would say I'm too careful. I don't like opening books all the way because I'm worried that the binding will break, and it bothers me. So I am very picky when it comes to reading my books. It's one reason why I never lend out any of my books. Learned my lesson quite a few times from doing that. So I've been reading it in spurts. I've been reading little bits at a time, and right now I only have about 30 pages left, so I'll probably finish this just before this video goes up. Another one that I'm currently reading is Haunted Houses by Robert D. Sansucci. A lot of you probably saw this in my Halloween Reads video where I was talking about wanting to read this book. I am that far through, so I've got probably about 100 pages left. And this is just a book of short stories. The stories really aren't that exciting, and I'm not very impressed with the writing or anything, but I do want to finish the book just to finish it. Next up is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the illustrated edition with illustrations done by Jim Kay. Of course, this isn't a book that I've had any trouble getting through. I've just been picking this up little bits at a time and reading a chapter here and there because I've been reading all these other books. I haven't felt like I could just sit down and thoroughly enjoy this book. So after I'm done reading that Nancy Drew book and the Haunted Houses book, I'm going to sit down with this and just read it straight through and just immerse myself in it, which is kind of the way you have to experience Harry Potter. I'm very excited to get to the illustrated edition. I have not looked ahead at all. I don't want to spoil myself for the illustrations. I just want to experience it all as I reread the book. Right now I'm a little over 100 pages in, so it should not take me very long to get through the rest of this book. Next up is a book that I started reading when I went on my trip to Florida this past summer, and I don't know. This is Troad by James Patterson. This is my very first James Patterson book, and I picked this one up because I thought it looked like a really nice kind of beachy thriller, which is perfect for a trip to Florida. However, I really wish I didn't start with this particular James Patterson book because I'm not enjoying it very much. I am 108 pages in, and while I read this in Florida, it did not take me long to read those 108 pages. James Patterson books are pretty pretty quick to read, I guess. Even though I wasn't enjoying it, it was pretty quick getting to that point. So I don't think reading the rest of this book is going to take me very long, especially if I just focus on reading this and I don't jump between other books that I'm currently reading. Just read it straight through and get it done as fast as I can, like pulling off a band-aid. The next book I have here is Something Real by Heather Demetrios. I only read about 30 pages of this and I sat it down because, again, I was reading all these other books and I didn't want to start another book and be in the middle of it. But I am about 30 pages in and I would really like to get into this more because I was enjoying it when I started reading it. Then I have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I started reading this about a year ago and I am only that far in. I'm just bored. I'm really bored with this book. I know a lot of people love this book. Seriously, don't be mad that I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's not keeping me entertained. It's just very dry and I don't know. It's not as charming as I thought it would be. And the next book that I'm currently reading is on my phone. It's called The Moon and the Tide by Darren Lynn Anderson. It is the second book in the Marina's Tales series. This is another book that I am enjoying. I just really don't like reading books on my phone or on my computer because it hurts my eyeballs. I have kind of sensitive eyes when I'm focusing very intently on a screen. I have to read books like that very small bits at a time. That's why I prefer reading physical books. I know there are like glasses that you can wear that kind of protects your eyes from that, but I just haven't looked into anything like that yet. So I don't feel like I have to finish that one before the end of the year. I'll probably keep it around on my phone just until I finish the book, whenever that is. So those are the books that I'm currently reading. I want to start the year fresh. I just want to read whatever I want. There are so many books that I want to read. I want to read this baby right here, Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. It's one of my most anticipated books. I've almost started it a couple times, but I put it down because I gotta finish all these first. Then I can just enjoy whatever book I want and not feel like I should be reading something else and feel guilty about starting yet another book. I know reading is supposed to be something enjoyable. I shouldn't be forcing myself to read a book that I really don't have to read, but it's just the way my brain works. Hopefully I'll grow out of it at some point. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rambly video, and I will see you next time. Peace out. Bye.